Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Leon from No More Lines. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe. Leave a like and a comment and watch the video to the very end. In this video, I'm going to show you how to check and create folders and nested folders within Excel VBA. In this particular example, I was creating a mod in Tekken 7 PC, and one of the prerequisites is that you have to basically set up a file directory for the files that you're going to go in and replace. The mods in the game actually work in this way. You're basically going and checking assets, and you're going to take basically a reference file. The reference file references back to other assets, and then what happens is that the way the mods work correctly is that they will look for the original file name, and if you rename a file something that is like the original file name, it's going to override the contents. So the file name is the same, but the contents within the file are different. That's how the mods are actually loaded on. So you can swap out different outfits, stuff like that. So one part of that is that we have to have the correct file directory, and that requires actually having a bunch of folders that are nested in between each other. And to make this easier, I actually made a process for this that is very simple. And what it does is that it basically starts in its ascending order, and it creates a file path. But what it does first is that it basically will look for the path that I set up, and if it's not there, it'll make the folder, and if it is there, it'll just go ahead and ignore it. So this makes creating the folders very simple. And as you can see, I have a couple examples in column J, L, and N. Basically, if I know which base or which template I'm gonna need, I just copy and paste those particular templates into column A. Column A is going to be what I'm going to be using to set it up. And I think you saw, but in C1 is the base of my file directory. So in this case, basically what I'm going to be doing in a literal sense is I'm going to be looking at the N drive. I'm going to be going to the Tekken 7 mods folder. Then from there it's going to be sim_swapper. And then if you look in column A and range A2, that's when my the folders start. So I'm going to create a folder for Tekken games within the sim swapper folder, and it's going to go all the way down into the very end, into the customized folder. So I'll show you the code for this. It's pretty straightforward, and I've done a video similar to this video, but I'm going to combine a couple things into one. So the sub I created is called folder creator, and the first dim is going to be folder name, and as you can see, the folder name is in cell C1, and it's going to be the path that begins in the N drive. Okay, so from there, and let's step through it so I can show you how it actually works. So the second part is going to be where we're going to be doing a check for column A, and say that if column A has a value, a count A value that is less than 2, then we're going to ignore it. What that means is that basically there is no column heading, there is no data after the column heading, because I'm going to always make sure that the folder hierarchy is first, so that way I know exactly what I'm looking at. So what it's going to do is that it's going to do an else on that, and then I'm going to start in range A2. So basically like this. So this is going to be the actual meat of the process. So we're going to do a loop, and we're going to do a do until selection.value is null, or I'm sorry, it's blank. That's not null, it's blank. So what that means is that it's going to keep looping. It's going to keep looping down the rows until it reaches a cell within column A that is blank. So, and this part's important I did something. I added a little piece to this because I noticed that sometimes it won't do it correctly if I don't have this if statement. And what this is basically a ender. It's a forward slash. As you can see in C1, there is a forward slash to signify a file directory. But if I were to uh, go ahead and run this, it's going to ignore it because I'm basically saying that, okay, if the final character in the folder name is not equal to a forward slash, then I want to add a forward slash to it. And what that does is that it basically will fix this to where it'll work correctly. So if I were to take out that forward slash and run it again, this time, well, I have to go back and I have to go and do the folder name again to make sure that I'm referencing it a second time. But you see here that when I do this, it'll actually add in the folder name with this if statement. So this if statement is just to kind of go and fix the situation where I don't have a forward slash at the end of my file directory. I would recommend to have that in there just in case somebody is using something or you forget to add that to the end of your directory. It'll work every time. And then this here is going to be where it's going to add in the folder name. So this here is going to say that, okay, to my existing folder name, I'm going to add in tech and game to the end of it. So you see now that I've now have my InDrive, Tekken 7 mods, Sim Swapper, and I have a Tekken games at the end, and everything is lined up correctly. So when I go in, I do this if statement, and what this if statement says is that it says if the folder name directory is equal to blank, then I want to make the folder name directory. So mkdir means to create a folder name. And one important thing is that it's going to go and return either a null or it's not null. If it's not null, it means that it's there. If it's null, it's not there. Lastly, you will need to set up the dir where the first component is going to be the directory itself or the file. And then in this case, since it's a directory, it's going to be VB directory. That signifies that it's looking for a file directory. If not, it's not going to run correctly. And I've had some experience with that, so I had to learn to add that to it. But in this case, that tech and game folder is already there, so it's going to actually do an else on that. And you see that from here, it's going to do an offset on A2. It's going to go down a row. So now it's going to use A3. So from there, it's going to do the same thing. So you see here that the folder name is now Tekken game and / content. So I'm pretty sure you're seeing the pattern now. So that's all it's basically doing. It's going to do the same thing over and over again. So it's going to basically go and create that folder if it's not there. If it is there, it'll just ignore it. And in this particular example, I already created the folders already. You see that at the end, once it reaches the actual do until, it'll stop there. So yeah, I think this is pretty helpful. It definitely helps if you're looking for a nested folder or you're trying to create nested folders. This makes it really simple. You don't have to do a whole lot of going into your Windows Explorer and trying to create the folders, and there's a chance that you may go make a typo, stuff like that. This just makes it really easy, and it runs like really fast. So yeah, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions or any comments. I'm going to link this example in the description box. You're free to use it. I'm going to put it in a zip file So you can definitely use it on your version of Excel. Uh, you can change you can change all of these directories if you want to. Uh, of course, you are free to use the file however you like. So you have a blessed day and you take care. Thank you.